Hey guys, today I'm showing you how to make caramelized onion and feta focaccia. Ever since mine and Alex's trip to Bari, if you haven't checked that vlog out yet, I'll leave the link up there, go check it out. But ever since Bari, I've absolutely loved fresh focaccia, and caramelized onions and feta are some of my favorite pizza toppings. So I decided I was gonna add that on top of my fresh focaccia. So you wanna start by infusing your oil. You wanna make sure you try get a good quality extra virgin olive oil, and you're gonna pour that into a pan. And then into that you want to add in some rosemary. I'm just using dry as I have it in the cupboard, but you can use fresh. Some black pepper. And then I'm going to crush in 3 good sized cloves of garlic. You just want to heat that for about 5 to 10 minutes until you can smell that garlic. Just make sure it doesn't brown. While that's infusing together, you want to add your warm water, your yeast and your honey together and give it a little stir around. You now just want to let this sit for 5 minutes as well. So you now want to add your yeast mixture into a bowl and add about a cup of flour to it. And the last thing to add into here is a 1/4 cup, about 60 mils of that infused olive oil, and that smells absolutely amazing. So pour that in, and then you want to stir that around a few times. And then once the flour has been coated in the liquid, just leave that to sit for another 5 minutes. So 5 minutes is up, and as you can see, there's bubbles on top of my mixture. That just shows the yeast is really starting to work. So I'm gonna add in the rest of my flour and flavor it with some salt. I'm just gonna give that a stir until it starts to come together. Like the focaccia I had in Bari, I really like my focaccia salty. So you might not wanna add all of the salt, but if you like it like me, you're gonna want more salt. I also like to use flaked sea salt rather than table salt. I feel like it adds a much nicer flavour. Okay, so once that comes together, you want to lightly flour your surface and give that a little knead. Place that into a grease bowl, and then you want to let it double in size. This will only take mine about 30 minutes because I have a function on my oven, but this could take up to an hour depending on how hot the place is where you put it. While I wait for my dough to rise, I'm going to get prepping my caramelized onions. So I've got half a large red onion here, and I'm going to add that into my pan that has been heating up with some oil. And to that you want to add a large pinch of salt, and again with this I'm using flaked sea salt, just adds a much better flavour. You just want to cook these slowly for about 10 to 15 minutes over a low-medium heat until they go translucent. You just want to soften these up really gently. They've really softened up nicely, so I'm going to add in some soft light brown sugar. This will help sweeten them up. And then I'm going to pour over some balsamic vinegar. I love the tang this adds. And now you just want to stir that all in, get those onions coated in that sugar and the vinegar. And you want to cook that for another 10 minutes until they're lovely, they're caramelized, and they're almost sticky. So our dough has doubled in size, it's risen really nicely, so that can now go into your baking tray, but you want to grease that first. So taking half of the remaining oil, you want to rub that into the tray. I'm going to add in the dough and press it down with my fingertips. That's how you get those lovely bumps on top of the focaccia. My dough was a little bit sticky, so I've just added on a bit of flour and it makes it much easier to spread out. And then to finish, you want to top with the rest of that oil. So once you've completely covered the dough with that oil, you want to let that rise for about another 20 minutes or until it's doubled in size before adding on the caramelized onion. My focaccia is looking beautiful and it is doubled in size. My kitchen is also smelling amazing. So I'm going to add on my caramelized onions. You just want to evenly spread these over the top. This is now ready to go into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, and you want to add your cubed feta 5 minutes before taking it out of the oven. So that is how you make my absolutely delicious caramelized onion and feta focaccia. Easy.